Now on CoastTV News.
Turning from College Park Lane to Route 113, what the town of Georgetown is doing to make this area safer.
Signs in yards, people making a push ahead of Tuesday's vote in Ocean City.
Gatekeeping gone in a city with no current gated communities. Lewis looks to make that permanent.
We start off this week with comfortable sunshine, but will it stay that way? I'll show you what I'm tracking coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
Cars circling a roundabout on College Park Lane. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. We begin tonight with some new safety improvements planned for Georgetown.
Cars heading north and south on College Park Lane in Georgetown. The intersection there at 113 has seen multiple rear-end crashes, leading to some upcoming changes. Coast TV News reporter Zakia Jennings live in Georgetown. Zakia, there will be several pattern changes made in the area.
Maddie, one of those pattern changes will be no left turns, including turning left out of the Walgreens. If you take a look here, we are finally just now able to make a left turn, and we'll be making a left onto College Park Lane, which can be kind of tricky here. Cars can also turn right into this pretty tight area that we just came out of, leading to near-miss accidents quite often. Cars trying to carefully pull out onto College Park Lane. People in the area say going north and south onto College Park Lane can be dangerous. And now, some changes are going to be made. Georgetown's town manager, Dvornick, says DelDOT requested the updates as part of the Hazard Elimination Program, which identifies high crash locations and makes safety recommendations.
It's in response to the number of rear-end collisions that they were having from folks either entering College Park Lane from the southbound DuPont Boulevard or coming across from the northbound lane at the traffic light.
Thomas Green had to get through College Park Lane Monday to get to the grocery store, and he says he's seen multiple accidents in the area.
I think there needs to be a change as far as speed limits or speed bumps, but at the same time, it's really a rough area.
Here are the recommended changes. Cutting the speed limit from 25 miles per hour to 15 miles per hour. 4-way stops will be added at the entrance of Redner's and Walmart, which brings you out onto College Park Lane. You will no longer be able to turn left out of Walgreens to get onto College Park Lane, and adding reflective posts that will prevent drivers from making left-hand turns into Walgreens from College Park Lane. New changes trying to solve old problems, all with the goal of keeping everyone safe. Dvornick tells Coast TV the plan designed is awaiting final approval and could be implemented as early as fall of this year. Live in Georgetown, Zakia Jennings, Coast TV News.
Thank you, Zakia. Also in Georgetown, there are some traffic changes planned for 113 and Route 18 and 404. DelDOT is planning to build an overpass with bridges and loop ramps over 113. The project also includes plan to widen Route 113 from 3 lanes from Bedford Street to Ennis Street. Construction on that is expected to begin this fall.
The Ocean City Council recently adopted new rules to short-term rentals in residential areas and mobile homes. That included a minimum length of stay, but that immediately got some pushback. Some saying the rules a little unfair to owners. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zapay is live in Ocean City. Kevin, after enough signatures were gathered, those new rules were actually paused, and now tomorrow they're going to be up for a vote.
Charlie, after months of back and forth for a couple months now, it is now up to the Ocean City voters to determine if there will be rules for residential areas or mobile homes. Now, this will all be happening tomorrow right here at the Ocean City Convention Center. Now, if these new rules are approved, then a 5-night minimum length of stay will be imposed, and that would jump up to a 31-day minimum by 2027. These rules would restrict all short-term rentals in the areas shown here on this map. According to Ocean City Mayor Rick Meehan, the rules were put in place to try and maintain the character of these communities for people who live there year-round. But homeowner Terry Miller disagrees, saying this will take owners' rights away.
It's like they want to turn it into a gated community for people that didn't sign on for that. The people bought these homes with the expectation, excluding Mallard Island, that they would be able to rent.
There's a wide variety of properties for our visitors to choose from. If we don't do this now, I'm very afraid we're going to look back 10 years from now as our R1 areas are totally going away as far as year-round residents.
Now, if you are a registered voter in Ocean City and want to vote on this will be happening tomorrow at the Ocean City Convention Center between the times of 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. I'm Kevin Zappé, live in Ocean City, Coast TV News.
And this brings us into our Coast TV poll tonight. We want to know, how should Ocean City regulate short-term rentals in these neighborhoods?
Let's take a look at the results so far. Kind of a mixed bag here. 39% say relax limits, 22% say keep the 5-night rule, 33% want to ban those rentals by 2027, and 6% say maybe case-by-case basis here.
And if you haven't voted yet, or if you have some thoughts, you want to leave us a comment, go to coasttv.com or use our mobile app. And we're taking a live look into Lewis as we check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams. Paul, it's a brand new week. What are we walking into?
We have a brand new disposition totally here at the Weather Department, one that excludes oppressive humidity and excludes oppressive thunderstorms. How's that? We're just going to live in the freedom of sunshine that's very comfortable indeed. Laurel, right now, clear skies, temperature 84 degrees, dew point temperature, get this, hadn't said this in a long time, how about in the 60s and going even down further? That's going to help it really feel much more comfortable. We're at 80 degrees in Lewis, 85 Milton, 85 in Georgetown. If you notice that it wasn't quite so steamy and hot and all that type of stuff, that dew point temperature dropping helped. Plus, we had a high of only 86 degrees. 88 is actually the norm. But previously, for last week and the week before, we've been starting the day off at about 88 degrees. But now we have no watch or warnings to be concerned with, whether it's heat or dealing with the wind. And we have a few scattered clouds in place for us right now, widening the scope. We see a few sprinkles down towards Onakok. But other than that, we're staying relatively clear. Stationary boundary just to our southwest, not posing a big problem. Here's a quick look at your evening expectation. You'll notice we'll continue to get clearer and clearer as we progress throughout the night, Charlie.
Thank you, Paul. The city of Lewis is now considering banning gates on private and city streets. Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken is live in Lewis. The rule wouldn't affect the current landscape of Lewis.
Charlie, I'm in a neighborhood here in Lewis, and this is pretty typical for the area. This is a non-gated community, and to our knowledge, there are currently no gated communities in Lewis city limits, which is why one member of the Planning Commission tells us this is about the future. The city of Lewis did not provide a reason for this proposed code change, but one member of the Planning Commission says he believes it's based on past developers proposing gates along with their communities, and to stop that from happening in the future. For example, in a proposed 13-lot development called White's Pond Preserve, the city council denied the developer's request for a gate on the road back in January. Some locals we spoke with hope the city does make this rule official.
I don't see where there'll ever be a need for a gated community based on the way the town's currently configured and where, you're going to put a gated community. I don't see that being any need for a gated community to stop any type of traffic flow.
Again, we did reach out to the city to try and learn more about their reasoning for this proposed change, but we did not hear back today, and the council meeting is Wednesday at 10 a.m. in City Hall. Reporting live in Lewis, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Today marks 6 months since President Trump took office. This as he's still dealing with his own supporters calling for the release of the Epstein files.
NBC's Melanie Zanona shows us this comes as a tariff deadline is looming, and the president says he has trade deals close to being finalized.
6 months into his second term, President Trump praising the work his administration has done, releasing a White House-produced highlight reel.
Donald Trump immediately getting to work with a remarkable show of the use of executive power.
We've never seen anything like this.
The American economy is better for it.
$2 trillion in international financial agreement and record tariff revenue.
The next 3.5 years will probably be just as busy.
Now, after months of federal government cuts, tariffs implemented on friends and foes, and a dramatic crackdown on immigration, Americans are weighing in. A new CBS News YouGov poll finding 58% of the country disapprove of the job Trump is doing. Since he took office, his approval rating has fallen steadily. But the Epstein files remains a hot topic that won't cool down. MAGA world erupted after Attorney General Pam Bondi decided not to release all the files, declared the convicted sex offender left no client list, and was not murdered but did kill himself in jail. Many conspiracy theorists who once applauded Trump's promise to release all the files have turned on him. In response to the fury, the Department of Justice requested grand jury testimony related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein be released. But it's unclear if a judge will do that. Epstein lawyer Alan Dershowitz gave his opinion on Fox News.
The information that hasn't been requested is going to be far more informative and far more relevant than the grand jury information.
But Trump supporters not satisfied. A new Reuters Ipsos poll shows 69% of Americans believe the federal government is hiding details about Epstein's clients, including 62% of Republicans.
While the administration tries to move away from the Epstein controversy, Democrats here on Capitol Hill doing all they can to keep the issue in the spotlight, with one lawmaker even filing a bipartisan resolution to force the release of all the files. Melanie Zanona, NBC News, Washington.
Malcolm Jamal Warner, an actor and artist who rose to fame as a child as Theodore Huxtable on The Cosby Show, has died, according to a source close to the actor. Warner was 54. He died in a drowning accident in Costa Rica where he was on vacation with his family, the source said.
Cell phone age recommendation. A new study warns parents about the dangers of using smartphones too young.
And we're expecting some comfy nighttime conditions as the weather temperatures slip into the 70s.
But first, travel headache help. What to do when your flight gets delayed? Up next.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
This summer travel season has seen the airline industry and passengers under some stress.
Oh yeah, just this weekend, a technical issue caused delays and cancellations for Alaska Airlines. Reporter Michael Yoshida has tips on what to do when your departure time is up in the air.
It's definitely been a summer of delays and cancellations and a lot of grumpiness.
From bad weather to staffing problems to computer outages and more, airlines have faced some turbulence this summer.
So all of this just compounds and creates a heap of problems.
Travel writer Andrea Sachs says if your flight's delayed when you're trying to get away, remember these things. Beware of the creeping delay, a flight that keeps getting pushed later and later and then eventually gets canceled. As soon as you see or hear about there being a potential problem, investigate the cause. Is it weather, mechanical, or something else? And where is your plane? Is it in the air or still sitting at another airport?
Then you know whether you could just sit tight and wait, or you need to jump in and start advocating for yourself.
Create a backup plan ASAP. Don't wait for more alerts or to be rebooked automatically. Use your airline's app or other travel apps to find other flight options, even less direct ones that still get you close to your destination. Also, when trying to rebook or get help, use every form of communication, in person at the gate, through the app, on the phone, or even through social media to make sure you're heard and addressed. And know what you want. Be prepared with possible options and be aware of code share agreements or partnerships your carrier may have with other airlines.
You need to help yourself a little bit to give them some guidance. And it's okay, stand up for yourself.
That was Michael Yoshida reporting, and here's a few other tips. If you can, book a direct flight, no layovers, earlier in the day before the heat and the storms can build. Also, those we spoke with say if you can book a higher fare or class ticket, those are usually prioritized by airlines if something does happen to your flight.
Here's a look at your Bay forecast. In Cambridge, looking to go to 82 comfortable degrees and 83 on Wednesday, comfortable again. And then it starts getting a little wobbly by Thursday. We'll have your full forecast coming up. This week, we get a break from all the heat, humidity, and the stormy weather that we had to deal with last week, at least for 4, possibly 5 days, before we have to go back and deal with that stuff again. In Lewis, we have scattered cloud cover and 84 degrees. Winds right now only at about a meager 3 miles per hour. Shouldn't pose a problem. As far as the rest of the night is concerned, listen, it's going to stay pretty clear for the most part over Lewis. 78 degrees is where we're going to stumble into by 9 o'clock in the evening. Here's a look at the temperatures right now throughout the entire area. As far north as Milford, 86 degrees, and it's 86 in Willers as far south as we go. We're holding at 79 degrees in Ocean City, Bethany Beach, as well as Rehoboth Beach. Dew point temperatures in the 60s. A little more sane with the dew point temperatures this week. Remember last week we had 70s and even 80s? Well, this time 68, although typically, classically, that's considered a little bit on the high side. It's extremely manageable depending, when you think about where we've come from. So we're going to be watching the muggy ticker here because we're going to stay within the humid category until we get to, let's say, Friday. And then we start escalating to very humid to back to that miserable pattern that we've been dealing with from last week. I mean, look at this. We have temperatures, it's 94 in Wilmington, but 85, for example, in Georgetown. Cloud cover staying very limited, and cloud cover is not going to be an issue for today or really tomorrow for the most part. We have a stationary boundary to our southwest, but it's not going to pose a problem for us. By the way, going out to the fair for tonight, 81, partly cloudy skies, and just nice and mild and enjoyable. I should have put that there, enjoyable for the forecast, because you're going to get a chance to do that. Enjoy it. 86 for the high in Georgetown, Easton, 84 for the high in Cambridge, and 81 for the high in Ocean City. As we break down our expectations for tomorrow, we'll stay pretty much clear till we get to lunchtime. Temperatures will only climb into the lower 80s at about 9-mile-per-hour winds. Now, winds, we're looking at 83 for the high in Georgetown, for example, 84 for the high in Cambridge and Vienna, and we should warm to about 84 degrees in Pocomoke City, 80 in Chincoteague. Taking a look at what to expect along the coast, we're looking at 80, worst case scenario, 85 degrees in Ocean City and Chincoteague, but that's primarily it. With the winds going at about 12 miles per hour, it won't even feel like 80 degrees. You see, Tuesday morning, we start off 76 along the coast, 69 Millsboro. Then we go to the low to mid 80s, generally speaking for everybody, except Dewey Beach. We're going to only get up to 76 degrees there. But Dewey Beach hovers at about 72 going into Wednesday morning, 64 for Millsboro. That might actually come off a little bit on the chilly side, so you'll be able to turn the air conditioning down a bit and save a little moolah, right? And as we go into Wednesday afternoon, we may catch a random sprinkle in Del Mar. I'm not going to call that rain. I'm just going to call that a passing artistic sprinkle. Okay? Nothing to be worried about. Now, as far as, because look at our chances of rain. We're looking at maybe a 24% chance of rain on Wednesday. Our big chances of rain will hold off until we get to Saturday. We go to a whopping 46% because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're staying pretty much clear. So, rehashing for tonight, cooling nicely, 69. Tomorrow, 82, not so humid. Then for Wednesday, a few more clouds and just a tad warmer, 83 degrees. Finally, here's a look at your 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Paul. And coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network, your game of the night at 6:15. It is boys basketball with Maryland's Supreme Basketball League. Then catch the final score at 10:30. And coming up, beef prices hitting record high and severe weather may be to blame. How climate change is hitting your grocery bill after the break.
You are probably paying more this summer for those burgers on your grill. Yeah, beef prices are now rising to record levels. The Agriculture Department says beef is selling for $9.26 per pound. That's nearly a 9% price hike since January. Analysts say it's due to smaller cattle herd sizes, drought conditions, and more expensive feed. The American Farm Bureau Federation also says cattle ranching just isn't as profitable as it used to be.
New research recommends parents not give smartphones to children younger than 13. The study looked at data from nearly 2 million teens, finding smartphone use by kids under the age of 13 was associated with mental health problems, especially, and listen to this, among young girls. Those issues included suicidal thoughts, poor emotional regulation, lower self-worth, and detachment from reality. Experts say it's likely due to kids accessing social media earlier and experiencing sleep disruptions, cyberbullying, and negative family relationships.
Let's go ahead and take one more live look outside into Laurel. One more check on your forecast right after this. It may still be the middle of summer, but Starbucks says it is almost pumpkin spice latte time. Starbucks says August 26th is when the PSL will make its big return, Paul.
Wow, it's 4 days before my birthday. There we go. Buy your weatherman a latte. With soy milk, by the way. 85 actually for us in Dover, and we're looking at 78 degrees by 9 o'clock under mostly clear skies. Our umbrella winner is Joy Schreck of Lewis. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. Keep up with your forecast, as good and as glorious as it may be. Listen, we keep you updated on our weather line. It's just a call away. And finally, here's a look at your 10-day forecast.
All right, Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.